So over the last 3 weeks, 3 members of Congress have resigned. We've never seen that before in history. These swamp creatures are continuing to be exposed, and that's a good thing, but one has remained elusive. Ilhan Omar has been under investigation for immigration fraud after reports that she married her brother so he could get into the United States. Take a look at these two side by side. They look a lot alike, if you ask me. Ilhan is also under investigation for fraud connected to the Somali fraud scandal happening in Minnesota. The accusation is that she introduced something called the Meals Act, which sent money to nonprofits called Feeding Our Future, which then stole $250 million from taxpayers. At least 60 Somalians have already been convicted. Most of the money has not been accounted for, and Feeding Our Future was headquartered right in Ilhan Omar's district, less than 5 miles from her district office. And the fraud happened at the exact same time when her net worth suddenly jumped from right around $50,000 to as much as $30 million, which she claims was just a simple filing error. Meaning Ilhan Omar was either in on the fraud and was getting a cut from the program that she created, or she is the most virtuous and ethical politician in Washington. Either way, it stinks. Tom Emmer is the House Majority Whip. He also represents the state of Minnesota in Congress. It's great to have you back, Congressman. Which one do you think it is? Do you think that she was in on this fraud, or do you think that it was happening right under her nose in her district and she had no idea?
Well, Rob, it's good to be with you. I will tell you this about my colleague from Minnesota. She is the most hateful, dishonest, racist anti-Semite that has ever represented Minnesota, for sure, if not anyone in Congress. This gal goes on national TV and taunts our great president with claims of, well, you know, I'm the victim and I'm a citizen, Mr. President. I'm not going anywhere. And then she goes to the University of Minnesota campus, Rob, and she effectively calls on violence or encourages violence on Jewish students. This is a terrible person. And right now, something smells. There's something in the back room is decomposing right now, and it may be her immigration fraud. It may well be her taxpayer fraud. Look, she not only introduced the program that allowed for the pandemic money to go to Feeding Our Future, she advocated for many of her friends and her neighbors who have now been convicted. There are 63 of them as of a couple weeks ago that have now been convicted in that Feeding Our Future scandal. By the way, I think it was 96 people were indicted. 80, some of them were Somalis, and these are the people that Ilhan was advocating for. And then the biggest one yet, Rob, I mean, now she files a disclosure like all of us file, a congressional disclosure, financial disclosure form, where 2 years ago she indicated that she had as much as $65,000 in net worth, okay? 2 years later, her disclosure indicates that she has as much as $30 million in net worth. And just this week, she comes out and says, oh, that was an accounting error. Yeah. That was a rounding error. Guess what, Rob? Rounding errors are now 9.5 to 10, right? Yeah. They're not 65,000 to 30 million. And
you
now
got to fire that accountant.
No, that accountant went to the Leering Center, I guarantee you.
That accountant is a Leering Center graduate.
Yes.
Ilhan Omar, I want to put this picture up, and I just want to get your take on this. And it would be one thing if they look nothing alike, but I think they look remarkably similar. Ilhan Omar's been under investigation for allegedly marrying her brother so he could immigrate to either a European country or America from Somalia. His name, Ahmed Nir Saad Elmi. They divorced, and then he fled the country. Does that seem a little bit odd to you?
When I started talking about her latest episodes of what seemingly corrupt behavior, I heard from more people at home, former people from your business. One channel in particular, these guys are retired now, told me that they had the information on Ilhan back in 2013 or 14 when she was first on the rise in Minnesota politics, and their station would not play the story because Minnesotans are afraid of being called names like racist or xenophobe or Islamophobe.
Congressman, are you talking about a local station in Minnesota?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Look, I know Tom Homan was on last night somewhere because I heard that he was talking about they are digging into her files as we speak.
Okay.
And there is more to come. I want
Wow.
to make a point about this rounding error, by the way, Rob. Think about this. She wants to say that this is just nothing to see here. It just happened. We just found it. Rob, that thing was filed last year. I was talking to the White House about
Right.
this in December. Why aren't you investigating this? She clearly didn't think this was a big deal until now. I wonder why, with all of a sudden corruption being exposed everywhere.
The timing is
members of Congress
miraculous.
being scrutinized. Maybe that's why she's suddenly going to try and come clean. By the way, her husband's winery, where allegedly it was underwater before all of a sudden it was flush with cash.
Yeah.
Dissolved it. They dissolved it 9 days after.
I was looking forward to that
filed her amended
2026
disclosure.
crush. Just quickly, you're the third most prominent Republican in the House, Majority Whip. Why haven't we had hearings into this, and why hasn't there been a vote? It seems like there's a lot of spring cleaning happening on Capitol Hill. 3 members have resigned in a week. Why hasn't there been a vote to expel this woman from Congress?
Well, this investigation's been ongoing. My understanding is you'll have to check with Jim Jordan and his staff and Jamie Comer. But I was told that the Oversight Committee, because this has been getting increasingly worse for Ms. Omar, her actions are becoming increasingly highly questionable, that they have turned it over to the Ethics Committee. So that is why the Ethics Committee right now is conducting an internal investigation, and I expect a lot more on this to come. It's probably why Tom Homan is telling you that they're digging into those files right now, because I would suspect that they've got requests for information.
Okay, Tom was on with us a couple nights ago, echoed that same thing. We'll keep an eye on it. Something's got to happen here. It's just getting worse and worse for Ilhan Omar. Tom Emmer, Congressman, we appreciate you being here. Good to see you. Thank you.
Same, Rob. Take care.